there. I'm coming to you today from my office, and we're moving, so that's why there's the boxes in the background. There you are. It's all mirrored. So there are the boxes in the background. It's very echoey, and we took down my backdrop to move it to the new office. So that's why it's very different today. So let's talk about why your speaking skills can make or break your business. And I want to be very clear. I'm not here to convince you that speaking is important, because I know you know how important speaking is. If you're watching, say hi. I'm gonna do I see you? I'm gonna check my phone and see who's here, because I can't see it on Restream. Beautiful. All right. So yes, we all know how important speaking is, and we all know how speaking can make or break a message. And I think all of us are we've worked so hard on becoming clear on our message. And then when it comes to the delivery part, so many people fall flat. And it's costing you money, it's costing you customers, it's costing your clients. And that's why speaking is so incredibly important. Now, I came across a study recently, which I thought was mind-blowing, and I want to share that with you. And it was part of a bigger study. And in that study, they compared Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk. And then they honed in on, for one part of the study, on the difference between Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, one reason why Steve Jobs was such an amazing speaker is he used a lot of variety when he spoke. And variety, that's the down and the up of your voice, as opposed to speaking very monotone. So even though he had a relatively high voice for a man, he made up for that through using a lot of variety. He also did not use many fillers, such as So he was pretty fluent in his speech. And he also used relatively short sentences, among many other things. So those are three key things that Steve Jobs did that made him so incredibly successful. Mark Zuckerberg, in comparison, he spoke faster and he used more fillers. And because he spoke faster, he could not use a lot of variety. So he's a bit more monotonous. I think that's the word, right? So those are little things that Steve Jobs did that made him so incredibly successful. Now, I would imagine someone saying, yeah, but those are just little things, and I don't think that they make a big difference. So here's what they did in one part of the study. The scientists, they fed two robots two speaking profiles, meaning one robot sounded like Steve Jobs and one robot sounded like Mark Zuckerberg. And then they had two groups of people, and one group listened to the robot that sounded like Steve Jobs, and the other group listened to the robot that sounded like Mark Zuckerberg. Now, both robots talked about the same thing. And both robots talked about healthy eating choices. So they try to convince people to make healthier food and eating choices and developing better eating habits. Now, again, this is really important. Same words, just spoken differently. After both robots were done, the participants were offered, as a thank you, an apple or a chocolate bar. Now, guess what happened? The people who listened to Steve Jobs chose the apple, the healthy snack, and the people who listened to Mark Zuckerberg chose the chocolate bar. That is incredible. So again, same content, but spoken in a different way, meaning using more variety, a bit more like shorter thought structures, and more emphasis. And that made an entire difference in the outcome. So now imagine what would happen to your message to your lives, to your talks on stage. If you actually could just make little tiny tweaks in your speaking, if you could use more variety, if you could be loud enough, if you could use less fillers, imagine how that would change your business. It is so incredibly powerful. And again, I was blown away when I read that. There was another part of the study, which is just as mind-blowing, where, and I hope I'm going to get this right now, GPS. So they fed the GPS, the speaking profile of Steve Jobs, and then the speaking profile of Mark Zuckerberg. I think it was Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not sure. It might have been Elon Musk. But I can look that up later again. Anyway, so point is, participants were asked to drive to the nearby university, following the instructions of the GPS. They actually knew the way. So they knew if they were going the right direction or the wrong direction, but they were still asked to follow the directions of the GPS, aka Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. Now, the people who listened to Steve Jobs drove, and that GPS purposefully sent them or gave them wrong directions. The people who listened to Steve Jobs followed those wrong directions longer than the ones who listened to Mark Zuckerberg. Even though they knew it was the wrong direction, they followed Steve Jobs longer than Mark Zuckerberg because of the speaking skills. And not only that, they even rated the GPS better afterwards, even though they knew it was leading them into the wrong direction. And that, again, that is the power of speaking. And now we can become philosophical and say, okay, now with great speaking comes great responsibility. So I always have to make sure that my intent is really good if I'm a great speaker, because I'm German, so we have, we have a history of speakers who had bad intent. So I wanted to share that with you, and not to convince you to work on your speaking skills, but to really make the point that if you want to further your business, if you want to bring your speaking or your business to the next level, your speaking skills are not, they're not a nice to have, and your speaking skills are not a distraction from your business. Your speaking skills and your speaking is part of your business, and they can make or break your business. You can speak yourself into your customers' and clients' existence. If you mumble, if you're too fast, if you don't use variety, then your message will not land. And as someone who has a gift, and every one of you has a gift, it is your duty to make sure that your message can land with those who need to hear it. So let me know what you think. I really want to hear your thoughts in the comments, because I was mind blown when I read those studies. And also book your audit. I have one more spot available for April. I'm allowing 3 audits in each month. So one more spot left for April, and then starting again in May with 3 open spots. So let me know, and again, any questions you're having, any comments, put them in the comments, and I speak to you real soon. Bye for now, and I'm going to pack my boxes now. Bye, my friends.